إلى ربه سبيلا إن ربك يعلم أنك تقوم أدنى من ثلثي الليل ونصفه وثلثه وطائفة من الذين معك والله يقدر الليل والنهار علم أن لن تحصوه فتاب عليكم فاقرؤوا ما تيسر من القرآن علم أن سيكون منكم مرضى وآخرون يضربون في الأرض يبتغون من فضل الله وآخرون يقاتلون في سبيل الله فاقرؤوا ما تيسر منه وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأقرضوا الله قرضا حسنا وما تقدموا لأنفسكم من خير تجدوه عند الله هو خيرا وأعظم أجرا واستغفروا الله إن الله غفور رحيم صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوا على محمد وآله محمد
Assalamu alaikum, brother Grant. Grant. Oh, yeah, no problem. Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing? How are you doing, inshallah? Good? Inshallah. You feel better, inshallah? Yeah. Yes. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Did you do azan? Okay. Inshallah. So I got with him. I put the in the car that broke when I wanted to sit in his car. I forgot to put it. Next time. No, inshallah, I'm going before leaving him. I put in his car. So I will show it next time, inshallah. Yeah. Anyway, if you are, even you're not here, I'm going to give it to Brother Naim. Is that okay? Yeah? Inshallah. He's Ziya Salih. Ziya Salih. Like Mafatih al-Janah. But different name. Thank you. You're welcome. No, I'm sorry, but just this is happening very frequently to me. I want to take up something. I forgot what I am going to take. السلام عليكم. كيف الحال؟ الحمد لله. اخبارك؟ السلام عليكم يا موسى. السلام عليكم يا موسى. Paulina, how are you? How are you, Musa? Long time no see.
Yeah? Couple of weeks.
Yeah, skipping.
Yeah, last week I skipped, yes. Assalamu alaikum.
You know Musa?
Yeah, I met him last a couple of weeks ago.
Assalamu alaikum. 2 week in, 3
Yeah.
week out.
No. I wasn't here last week. I was here.
That's what I'm saying.
More than 2 weeks.
Yeah? Yeah, 2 weeks.
I like that. You guys are holding me accountable. consider to skip, I'll have to consider it before I decide to skip.
Attendance here, you know.
Sure.
كيف الحال؟ كيفك انت؟ شو اخبارك؟ شو اخبارنا؟ والله ما في شيء. في عايش. وصلك الفلاير؟ ايه. ايمتى عاملينه؟ مش هلا احد يجي. رح يبعتوا انا كمان للشباب اللي تحت معه.
يا اخ موسى 15 شعبان ان شاء الله
بعت له الفلاير. I'll do my best. I will spread the message. Yeah. So have you heard anything from Ali Husseini or anything yet about? Or we're just waiting for Ali Shakibai.
You have to ask brother Zia.
Yeah, he's not gonna come till.
He's not coming in the winter yet.
Yes.
He has house over there.
Yeah.
So we stay there.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن عليا أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين ولي الله أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وجهة الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله صبر بنبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم مستقرا وقرارا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Thank you. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المكرمين. قال الله الحكيم في محكم كتابه ومتقن خطابه: فأقيموا الصلاة إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا. أوصيكم عباد الله ونفسي بتقوى الله ونظم أمركم. As you may remember, I was talking last week about some cases about the salat, and today inshallah I'm going to continue to talk about the same subject inshallah. And as you remember last time I was talking that sometimes people are having doubt about the salat, about the sequences of salat, doubt about the sujood, ruku, qira'ah. And today I'm going just to say, as I mentioned before, that one of the doubts which will happen, that because of the forgetfulness, which is part of the nature of human being, that sometimes you are, for example, after, it's now 12 o'clock, but 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you have doubt. Did I do my Salatul Zuhr and Asr, or I didn't do it? So here, if you have doubt, then you have to do it. No matter if in reality you did it before, since you have doubt and you are not sure, then you have to do it, unless someone is telling you, no, I saw you actually did your salat, then you can have the certainty that you offered your salat. But sometimes, this will happen, this happens to me, especially when I separate between Salatul Zuhr and Salatul Asr. Usually we do together. Is that right? But, I would be subject to forgetfulness if I do the Zuhr and then I say I'm going to do the Asr 2-3 hours later. Then I forget, or sometimes I would have doubt that did I do the Asr or not. So you have to do it. But if this doubt happened after the Ada time of Salat, for example, you actually have doubt at Maghrib time, did I do my Zuhr and Asr? Here you have to presume that you did it. You don't have to do your Zuhr and Asr Qaza. And the same thing would be applicable that, for example, that your body should be tahir when you do salat. Is that right? It should be pure. But if it happened that during the salat, that there was najasat or impurity on your hand, but you have doubt, did I do tathir? Did I wash my hand which was najis before actually doing the salat. If you have doubt, then you have to actually go and do the washing for the hand and redo your namaz. But if you have this doubt after conclusion of the salat, that after you offered salatul, zuhr, you actually have, the doubt. Did I wash my hand before actually doing the salat or not? Here, you can presume that your salat is valid. But for the salatul asr, no, you have to go and wash your hand before, initiating salatul asr. So this is about the doubtfulness in the salat itself. But what about the sequences? What types of the doubtfulness would be about the units of salat, that we would have doubt that am I in the third rak'at or the fourth rak'at, first rak'at or second rak'at, third rak'at or fourth rak'at? So if this type of actually doubtfulness will happen, what I have to do? Before actually I talk about this, let me just tell you that, sometimes, we have overly doubtfulness. Some people, they are they have over suspicion about the units of salat. Every time you do the salat, you have the doubtfulness. Am I in the first rakat or the second rakat? According to the jurisprudence, if your doubtfulness is excessive, then you should not act upon your doubt. It's called in Arabic kasiru shak. Kasiru shak is the one who would have in 3 prayers one doubt. Okay? In every 3 prayers, you have doubt about one of these prayers. Actually, did I do the second or third? So in this situation, you should not actually act upon your actually doubt anymore. And sometimes, people, they have, it would be kind of sickness that people, they have overly doubtfulness, what they call it, obsessive compulsive disorder. They have what they call it waswas. Have you heard about the word of waswas? And definitely, waswas, there's the people who are repeating, the things. This happens to me. Sometimes I'm asking when I'm going out, we know that we lock the door. Still, I'm asking my wife, did you lock the door? She said, no, I'm not sure. So let's go back and see if the door is locked. Did you turn off the stove or no? Oh, no, maybe not. You go back. So this will happen, sometimes for people that they have this type of disorder. And definitely, if this happens to actually the issue of the prayer, you should not actually act upon this type of actually doubtfulness. So, doubtfulness in salat sometimes actually it doesn't need to do anything, and it can be fixed, by itself, and you should not do anything about it. And sometimes you have to fix it, and sometimes it's making it the salat invalid. You cannot fix it. How? If, for example, you have doubt you are in the first rak'at of your salat or in the second rak'at of your salat is invalid. This will happen in salat al-subh, and it will happen in salat al-zuhr and asr. For example, you are doing salat al-zuhr and asr, or you are, you have doubt. Am I in the first rakat of zuhr or the second rakat of the zuhr? Your salat is invalid. You have to redo it. Salatul Maghrib is the same thing. You have doubt, I am in the second rak'at or in the third rak'at. The salat is invalid. You have to redo it. Okay? There is only one exception here. The exception is you do, for example, Salat al-Subh, and you see yourself in a state of tashahhud. Say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. You have the advent of the shak or doubtfulness. Am I in the second rakat or I'm in the first rakat and mistakenly I'm sitting for tashahhud? As I said, the principle is that if you have doubt about the first rakat and second rakat, the prayer would be invalid and you have to redo it. But this is the exception. If you are in tashahhud and you have doubts that you are in the first rakat or the second rakat, here you can presume you are in the second rakat. Okay? So if this is Salat al-Subuh, you just say taslim. If you are in Salatul Maghrib, you stand up for the third rakat. Okay? And if you are in Salatul Isha, you actually proceed with your salat. Okay? Only when you are in a state of tashahhud. And this will happen also if you are offering 4 rakat namaz and you know for sure that you passed 2 rakat. You are done with the 2 rakat. But you are in tashahhud. Now you have doubt. Am I in the 4th rakat, so this is the right tashahhud? Or no, I am in the 3rd rakat, so I should not actually do tashahhud here, and I have to do the 4th rakat. Here also you can presume that you are in the 4th rakat. You just say actually the taslim. Okay. This is 2 situations which you can fix the doubtfulness. The third one is, as I said, in Salatul Maghrib also, if you have doubt about the sequences of the Salatul Maghrib, your salat is invalid. Okay? With one exception. The exception is that you are doing taslim. You say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And you actually say, having the doubt that did I do the taslim in the wrong rak'at because I am maybe in the second rak'at, so I should not say taslim. I have to stand up for the 3rd rak'at after tashahhud. Is that right? So what will happen, or I am in the 3rd rak'at and I'm right. Here you can presume also that you are in the 3rd rak'at and your actually salat is inshallah rahman valid. So this is the 3 situations that you can fix the problem of doubtfulness. I said many times that ignorance about the issues of salat sometimes Assalamu rahmatullahi wa barakatuh would have effect in the manner that this ignorance will help you to actually presume your salat is valid. And sometimes ignorance would not help. Okay? For example, if you are ignorant that, salat has ruku' plus sujud, and you think that, salat has only sujud, no ruku', and you were actually going after Qiyam, after finishing Surah Al-Hamd and Surah Al-Tawheed to the sujood directly. And you say, I was not aware about this. That, I have to also do ruku for salat. Here, the salat, all your salawat should be repeated. Why? Because ruku is considered the essential part of salat. But if you used to pray for many years, salat, and you were reciting only Surah Al-Hamd, you were not reciting Surah Al-Tawheed. Because you didn't know, you were ignorant about the ruling that after Surah Al-Fatiha, it is wajib to recite another surah, like Surah Tawheed, Surah Inna Anzalna, Surah An-Nas. And you were thinking that you have just to recite Surah Al-Fatiha, and then after Surah Al-Fatiha, go to ruku'. And after 20 years, someone told you that you have to recite also Surah Al-Tawheed. All of your prayers would be considered valid. It's okay. I remember one time I was in another country. Someone was asking me, he was an old man, about the wuzu, how to do the wudu, the ablution. And he was surprised when I told him that first you have to wash your right arm, then actually then you have to wash the left arm. He said, I was thinking that I have to wash first the left, then I have to wash the right. So here, some of the scholars, they are saying that still, his wuzu would be considered actually valid, because some people, when they tell them that this is the situation, that you have to redo all of your prayers, and they say, no, I'm not going to do that. Would be very difficult, 20 years, 30 years. And sometimes there is remedy for this type of problem, sometimes not. I remember, someone was going as a actually agent for people who were not able to go to Hajj. It's called niyabat. Niyabat means someone is not able to go to Hajj, and he is hiring someone to go to Hajj on his behalf. It's called niyaba. And some people, they are ready to do this. This brother was going every year as naib, as a agent for other people for 30 years, 25 years, and every time he was getting the compensation for this. It was actually, big chunk of money at that time for these people. So what happened? This brother, actually, his hand was cut. I don't know, for an accident or something. His hand was amputated. And according to jurisprudence, the person whose hand is amputated cannot go as an agent for other people. And so his Hajj, people cannot hire him for the Hajj ceremony because, his hand is amputated. So for 30 years, for 25 years, he was going as naib for other people. And then they told him that you have to return all of this money to people. And, they said, no, I cannot do it. And he was right. So that's why it is important, brothers and sisters, to know the masail of jurisprudence in order to be sure that you are, inshallah rahman, on the safe side. So one of the exemptions for ignorance about the masail of salat, the issues of salat, is that, as you know, that for Salat al-Subuh, when you recite Surah Al-Hamd, Surah Al-Tawheed, you have to recite them loudly. Okay? For Salat al-Zuhr, Salat al-Asr, when you recite Surah Al-Hamd and Tawheed, you have to recite them quietly. Is that right? If you don't know about this, and you were reciting Salat al-Zuhr and Asr, Surah Al-Hamd and Tawheed loudly, because you were not aware about this ruling your salat would be, inshallah rahman, valid. Okay? Because, as you know, some dhikr should be recited loudly, some dhikr should be recited quietly. For example, for tasbihat, when you are in the third rak'at and fourth rak'at, no matter you are in Salat al-Maghrib or Salat al-Isha or Salat al-Zuhr or Salat al-Asr, tasbihat should be recited quietly. You cannot recite tasbihat loudly. Even if you are substituting tasbihat by Surah Al-Hamd, for example, instead of saying tasbihat in the third rak'at or fourth rak'at, you say Surah Al-Fatiha, even though you are reciting Surah Al-Fatiha for the first rak'at loudly because you are Salatul actually Maghrib, but for Fatiha in the third rak'at, fourth rak'at, you have to recite them quietly. Okay? What about other dhikrs? You know, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, you have option, loudly or quietly. Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdi, you have the option, loudly or quietly. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim wa bihamdi. You know, all of these dhikrs, you have option to recite them loudly or quietly, except actually when you are Salat al-Zuhr and Asr, you have to do it quietly for Surah Tawheed, Surah al-Tawheed, Surah al-Fatiha, and Tasbihat too. Okay? So, but as I said, if you were not aware about this, this ruling, your Salat would be considered, inshallah, valid. Also, another exemption is that when you are traveling, you know that according to the jurisprudence, when you travel certain distance, you have to do your salat short. Is that right? If you were not aware about this ruling and you were traveling long distance and you were doing your salat complete or tamam, then still your salat would be, inshallah rahman, valid. And so this is actually, as we said, sometimes the ignorance would not have consequence, and sometimes it would have consequence. And, but anyway, inshallah rahman, it is very important to know the masail or the jurisprudence of salat and fasting. And, I remember one brother, he was thinking that, fasting it means that just not to eat the regular food. So he was taking his medicine during the actually daytime because he said, the medicine is exemption from the fasting. This is what he was thinking, that the medicine is not breaking the fast. Okay, so inshallah we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to inshallah increase our knowledge, inshallah rahman, in every aspect of life, including inshallah the jurisprudence of salat. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar fasalli li rabbika wanhar inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. الصلاة والسلام على أئمة المسلمين، سيما أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب صلوات الله عليه، وصل وسلم على سيدتنا سيدة نساء العالمين فاطمة صلوات الله عليها، وصل وسلم على سبطي الرحمة الحسن والحسين، وعلي بن الحسين، ومحمد بن علي، وجعفر بن محمد، وموسى بن جعفر، وعلي بن موسى، ومحمد بن علي، وعلي بن محمد، والحسن بن علي، والحجة القائم المنتظر. اللهم اجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه والمدافعين تحت لوائه. أوصيكم عباد الله ونفسي بتقوى الله ونظم أمركم. As you know that in the beginning of Sha'ban, Assalamu alaikum, we have the birth anniversary of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, and also the birth anniversary of Zainab and Imam Ali ibn al-Hussein salawatullah alayhi, the fourth Imam. I was talking about the similarities between Imam al-Kadhim salawatullah alayhi and Imam al-Hussein, that the reason that Imam Kazim was in jail for many years, because he was so outspoken against injustice and against the unjust ruler like Harun al-Rashid. And that's why Harun kept Imam al-Kazim alayhi salam in the jail for many years. And this was the case also for Imam al-Hussein, because he was outspoken against Yazid ibn Muawiyah. That's why Yazid decided to eliminate him. And Imam Hussein alayhi salam mentioned this hadith from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that أفضل الجهاد كلمة حق عند سلطان جائر. The best striving, the best jihad is that to say the truth in the face of unjust ruler. You should not compromise the truth. Here is the the truth deserves to actually have sacrifice from people in order to keep the continued existence of the truth intact. And that's why he said Ibn Ziyad is actually making me to choose between the sword and slavery. Slavery means that you actually keep your mouth shut when you see the wrong, when you see the evil, and this is humiliation. And he is saying to me, either you have to shut your mouth, accept the humiliation, or you have to choose the sword. قد ركزني بين اثنتين, between two things, بين الذلة والسلة, حيات من الذلة. This is what Imam alayhi salam said. This is far away from me that actually I accept humiliation, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not accept for me to accept the humiliation. Mu'mineen will not accept this. Actually, my mother would not accept this. And so it means that, I was raised right in the lap of my mother, Fatima al-Zahra salawatullah alayh. That's why I'm not going to accept this humiliation. The same thing happened to Musa ibn Ja'far. You see that there is a hadith. When I remember Imam Musa al-Kazim salawatullah alayh, I remember this hadith. It's very important hadith, and this is the hadith which is actually embodying the action of Imam al-Kazim, and before him Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. He said that قُلِ الْحَقِّ, you have to be with the truth. Say the truth, even though the truth will endanger your life, because at the end, being with the truth will save you. قل الحق ولو كان فيه هلاكك فإن فيه نجاتك ودع الباطل, and leave the evil, leave the false, even though being with the evil, with the unjust ruler will save your life, but be sure at the end will destroy your life. ودع الباطل فإن كان فيه نجاتك فإن فيه هلاكك. And this was actually, this is the reason that we are remembering Imam Hussein alayhi salam in his birthday and actually his martyrdom, because we want to actually enshrine our souls with this message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, that we have to promote the truth, freedom, and justice. When we remember Hussein, we remember freedom. When we remember Hussein, we remember justice. That's why also we are doing sajda on the earth or the soil of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Why? Because we want to remind ourselves, even in salat, that actually truth is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, truth and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are interchangeable. And Imam Hussein offered his life sacrifice for the truth, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we have to remind ourselves that we have to be like Hussein, be ready to offer sacrifice for the great cause. That's why I said many times, you know, it is recommended when you do salat, every time you go to ruku, sujood, you say takbirat al-ihram, you raise your hands towards your actually throat. You say Allahu Akbar. Is that right? When you go to ruku, you say Allahu Akbar. When you raise your head from ruku, going to sujood, you say Allahu Akbar. How many times you're raising your hands? Why you are raising your hands towards your throat? In order to remind yourself that you are ready to offer sacrifice for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are ready to offer sacrifice for the justice. You are ready to offer sacrifice for the truth. This is the meaning actually of raising your hand. That's why in the Quran says, فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. Wanhar is sometimes his sacrifice. Is that right? Yes. But another connotation for wanhar is that when you do salat, raise your hands toward your throat in order to inculcate the importance of sacrifice, that you are always ready to offer sacrifice. Your salat should be the sign of your readiness for sacrifice. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help all of us to be among of those who are ready to offer sacrifice for the truth, for justice, for freedom, for every virtue, inshallah rahman. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. اللهم صل على محمد.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليا أمير المؤمنين ولي الله. أشهد أن عليا أمير المؤمنين حجة الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يسبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم. هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن
وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين وآخرين منهم لما يلحقوا بهم وهو العزيز الحكيم ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحمل أسفارا بئس مثل القوم الذين كذبوا بآيات الله والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين قل يا أيها الذين هادوا إن زعمتم أنكم أولياء لله من دون الناس فتمنوا الموت إن كنتم صادقين ولا يتمنونه أبدا بما قدمت أيديهم والله عليم بالظالمين قل إن الموت الذي تفرون منه فإنه ملاقيكم ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب والشهادة فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون وإذا رأوا تجارة أو لهوا انفضوا إليها وتركوك قائما قل ما عند الله خير من اللهو ومن التجارة والله خير الرازقين الله أكبر ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب رب وارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا الله أكبر سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سمع الله لمن حمد الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر بحمد الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الله أكبر سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الله أكبر ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا إله إلا الله إلها واحدا ونحن له مسلمون. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره المشركون. لا إله إلا الله ربنا ورب آبائنا الأولين. لا إله إلا الله وحده وحده أنجز وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. فله الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت ويميت ويحيي وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليا أمير المؤمنين ولي الله. أشهد أن عليا أمير المؤمنين حجة الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بحمد الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمد. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك المنجد الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آله في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا ونصرا ودليلا معينا حتى تسكنه ربك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل
Virat Ali and Ali Muhammad. Please recite the Surah Fatiha. Please recite 5 times of Hindu for those who are sick, especially Brother Tanvir Khan, Brother Hassan Shah, Brother Naveed Hassan, Muhammad Raza, and all those Mu'minat who are sick. Follow Maulana.
أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض أإله مع الله قليلا ما تذكرون. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض أإله مع الله قليلا ما تذكرون. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض أإله مع الله قليلا ما تذكرون. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض أإله مع الله قليلا ما تذكرون. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض أإله مع الله قليلا ما تذكرون. صلوا على محمد.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله والسلام عليك يا نبي الله والسلام عليك يا حبيب الله والسلام عليك يا محمد بن عبد الله والسلام عليك يا صفوة الله والسلام عليك يا أمين الله والسلام عليك ورحمة الله وبركاته والسلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله والسلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله والسلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوسيين السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين السلام عليك يا مولاي وعلى أنصارك المستشهدين معك جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن السلام عليك يا قامع الكفر والطغيان السلام عليك يا دافع الظلم والعدوان عجل الله فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.